clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 17th day of November, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool. And Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, I'm laughing because, look, we spent the whole pre-show, folks, her trying to explain something to me, right? Look, I keep telling you, well, I ain't the fastest dolphin in the ocean, right? It's just like...
You act like it.
Whatever. Anyway, so sometimes, folks, even the smartest people have an off day. Even the ripest apple, has a little rotten pod in it. That's not me. That's not me.
Whatever. His hump day, all right. He can be slow sometimes, and it's okay, Jamal. It is okay.
You're damn
but
right
nevertheless, and as you get older, it gets worse.
Sometimes, shucks. We all have those days. Gotta earn it, though. You gotta earn it.
What we got going on today, Jamal? What we got going on?
Well, you just reminded me, I don't have my mug, so I'm going to be drinking water from a big jug. But anyway, good morning to everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today is Rachael Petty. She's stopping by from Huckleberry, along with Jalen Harvey from our friends over there at Burrows. They're discussing the holiday markets. And we're going to apparently continue that conversation about cronuts as well, folks.
I was saying, what else are they going to discuss? Lack of knowledge of cronuts.
So you knew what cronuts were, Sherry?
I explained it to you, Jamal. Rewind the tape.
No, I thought you was just pretending.
No, I wasn't. The audience would have told you if I was. No. And I am one of those persons who tried to get one from Huckleberry, and they were all sold out last year or something like that. So yeah, and they have cronuts out here. I'm sure they have them in Florida, or the old people eating them up.
Old people. Oh, well. By the way, Sherry did refer to something as old earlier, but it shocked me. I didn't think she had it in her. Anyway, we have the Daily Play today, folks, and that will be, it's not going to be a say it, don't sing it, Sherry. It's going to be music, though. So this is easy. It's not guessing the lyrics. It's an easy one, though. You're going to get this one. I'm got faith in you today, Sherry. I do.
I am the little sister or big sister that you would be trying to trick into all types of stuff too. So I don't know. I don't trust you.
That's about right. But look, even on my slow days, I find a way, folks. Look, we have another important conversation we've got to have before we bring our guest in today. You heard Leanna and Gary Moreno yesterday during the news break a report on some very crazy yet unfortunate news regarding attempted, well, it was a home invasion. People invading an elderly lady's home, and she ran out screaming, and they left in a car, as the news said. But I guess, the question that we're asking this morning, and Sherry, I know during your day, but especially during mine, back in the day, honestly, we did leave our doors unlocked and open, right? We had a screen door. The main door was open, the screen door, you swing in, swing out. Neighbors come in, neighbors come out. I'm not quite sure. Maybe someone can tell us different if people still do that in Bermuda. Like if people still leave the doors wide open for to come and go. It doesn't seem like that might be the norm anymore, huh?
Well, I think it depends on how long you have resided in the neighborhood. I think that takes precedence if that's something that still occurs. So
Mhm,
if they're like, oh, that's Jamal's house, we don't, that house is off limits,
mhm.
then you might have that, experience. Um, yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Even even probably back then, I don't recall. I recall it in at my grandmother's house, maybe, but um, no, I am that person that has like that will put a cheer up underneath a door or something
Mm.
like that. My mind starts thinking, some out there things, but
You were a
yeah.
security cat then.
I can be, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I'm
she was a
okay with
security
that. I and that I could be that now, Jamal. Like,
cat.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't the whole like thought of somebody invading my privacy. Someone did break into my apartment in college. When came back from break, the the house like they took all of this stuff and it was just an eerie feeling,
Mhm.
and it's and I wasn't there, and that feeling is just so uncomfortable. I can't
Mm.
imagine
Yeah,
someone I'm in the house and somebody breaks in.
yeah.
Now, as we've mentioned before, everybody's got cameras now.
Let's just take the comment up since it's up.
Sure.
Sam Cat Play says, nope, I lock it no matter what. So she locks her doors. Shawnette Bell says, nope, I lock everything up. And Nikki, Sherry.
Anything can happen anywhere. I don't recommend leaving doors unlocked.
All
Mm-mm.
right. Well, that's it. Let's get to today's question. The question is, how can we make our homes and neighborhoods safe? Now, I think, to Sherry's point, you feel violated, people being in your space without permission and things being taken. And I feel like, when Leona's, and Gary are delivering this news, you almost feel violated for those people, right?
Yeah.
You're happy that, they're safe afterwards. You're happy that, nothing happened to them, but you still feel like, no, a code was violated. You literally went in someone's space without their permission.
Hmm.
How can we make our homes and neighborhoods safe? Like, what's it gonna take? Like, an elderly woman should not have to run out of her home screaming.
And who's probably lived there forever, right?
Mhm,
And I don't want to take I'm just saying anybody. Like, we definitely don't want an elderly person, but we don't
mhm.
want anybody. And I've heard of people being, or homes being broken into, and you're waking up and you see somebody stand. Jamel, I will lose it. You understand?
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
know out here we can have, firearms and all of that. And I can't see myself doing that. One time I did have a firearm in my house. My alarm went off. It was because the battery is dead. I'm running around with gun one hand, clip in the
yeah,
other. Like, really, what am I doing? Like,
yeah. I think, I mean, and to her point, in southern states, I mean, you're taking a risk breaking in someone's house because of standing your ground laws, and you can have weapons if you have a open and carry permit. So you are taking a risk. Now, that's part of the solutions and questions we're asking here, folks. How can we make our homes and neighborhoods safer? Like in many of the southern states, they have that stand your ground law. Does Bermuda
yeah.
need? I'm not saying Bermuda needs to allow homeowners to have guns. Do not
No.
take it there. What I'm simply asking is, what do people need to feel safer in their homes? Sherry, you just made a great point that this lady, this elderly woman, has probably lived there her entire life. You think she's gonna feel safe going back home, knowing that these people have probably planned this, been lurking, right? And
Yeah.
since they didn't get anything, apparently, I believe that's what the report said. They left once she
Hmm.
went out. Feel like they might want to go back. Like she's probably never gonna feel the same.
PTSD now what traumatized this woman in her later years, to make things worse. When you ask the question, what can we do? She did what she needed to do, and guess what, her neighbors responded as they should have. We
Mhm,
could have heard screams and been like, oh, we're not gonna worry about
mhm,
that, but the neighbors responded, and they were able to go over and assist. So
mhm,
if we are looking at neighborhood watches or people looking out for their neighbors,
mhm,
that would be a great incentive. And for people to understand, like, change up your routines, do different things. Let your neighbors know that this is what's going on, or that you're
Mhm.
home alone, and so forth. Being
Yeah.
more, not so seclusive to ourselves, but
Mhm.
being more out there.
Yeah, that's interesting. As one of the comments was saying, Nicole Walker says, "I lock my doors even with a huge Rottweiler, but no one really comes here because we are known to have Rotties." Well, that is a deterrent. But some people are so desperate, and I'm not giving people ideas, but you've seen in the movies, people bring snacks for the dogs.
Mm.
Arena says, "Lock up everything." Raquel Wainwright and Sean Smith Sherry.
I think neighborhood watch groups are a good thing. And Sean Smith says, how many of us know our neighbors today? We need to get back to knowing our neighbor. It's your neighbor that looks out for you. Absolutely. Even out here, I know my neighbors,
Enjoy.
and yeah, in Georgia.
But
Yes. Do you know
I
your
mean,
neighbors, Jamal?
I don't want to, but yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, that's another show. But no, you make a great point though, Sherry, and Sean does, because people don't even like their neighbors anymore. They don't want them, and because some people feel like, oh, I don't want other people in my business,
Business.
right? There's so many different reasons. I feel like we all should know our neighbors just enough in case
Uh,
we can assist them or they can assist us.
And it's very simple. I had a package that was supposed to arrive here. It went to the neighbor's house.
Mhm,
I know that they have cameras. I went and took the package off like early before the show started,
mhm.
and nicely sent them a message like, hey, a package went to the wrong door, but I know you got cameras, and I want you to also know that I was the one that went. And they were like, oh, okay, thanks. You know what I mean? So it's
Hey, it's good to know your
yeah,
neighbors, folks. You picking up
yeah,
somebody's package on, yeah, yeah. I
yes.
Karen Simmons here.
My home has been broken in multiple times, secluded area when my children were younger, feeling airy violated, doors locked at all times, even with alarm system. Listen,
Wow.
Karen, yeah, you have to have an alarm system. Yeah.
Yeah, alarm systems. I would say they're necessary. And the Chico Trot says more and more people are going to invest in a home security system. Well, you know what? I mean, by chance, we did have one communications on a couple weeks ago, and we do play a commercial every day that really speaks to this. And it's crazy that we're living in a time where we're speaking more about home safety and security than we are communicating with one another. Interesting.
Mhm. Mhm. But it gives you a sense of security. It gives you those things. But you do have some brazen people that,
Mhm.
don't care about those things. However, they do come in, it does come into play as you being alerted a lot quicker than you would if you didn't have it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, folks? How can we make our homes and neighborhoods safer? Some crazy times in Bermuda right now. Sam Cat, please share.
Know your neighbors. I just moved into our new home and have befriended those who have lived in the area for years. I know who, who's who, and have security features of my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jamal, I don't know. My mind sometimes goes into a whole movie thing about your neighbors too. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck going on?
You sound like somebody else in my house. I mean, mind you, she's been right, but yeah, yeah. See, the thing is, when I go for my jogs more, obviously it's not as dark as it was since the time change, but when I'm out there jogging, pretty much, I try to stay as close to the road as possible. One is because once you go outside the residential roads, it's all trees, so you don't know what's gonna pop out down here in South Florida. It could be a harmless rabbit, or it can be a coyote or a gator. But then,
Alligator.
right, but when you go to past the homes, you can see all the rings and all the cameras and so on. So I'm like, how could anyone do this? But then, Sherry, do you have this app? This is an app that when I first moved to Florida, my boss at the time told me to download to, kind of meet some new clients. But it's like a different version of Modus List. It's called what is it? Neighbor hood app. Let me hold on. Let me check my phone. It's the neighborhood. Anyway, the app is pretty much there to communicate with your neighbors. It can go far left. It's called Next Door. Next Door, right? The Nextdoor app basically it's a way of engaging people in your area, your community. So that's how I've gotten to know neighbors. Like new people have moved into the area, they've asked for suggestions for cleaning people. They may ask for suggestion for what's the people landscapers and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
sometimes the groups like they'll tell you, oh, be careful if you're out jogging at night or the morning because there's been a gator sighting in this community, or like it's
Okay.
helpful, right? So Bermuda is small, but and I'm giving someone an idea, a techie in Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with a neighborhood app. Like everything is an
Yeah.
app nowadays, folks. Everything's an app. And I'm gonna tell you, the neighborhood app, and you all laugh at Florida. I love Florida. Florida. I have lived in a lot of places. I've lived in a lot of places, right?
Do
5 states,
you?
countries, right? I can tell you, politics aside, Florida is probably up there as one of the best places, most stress-free places I've lived until you start talking about gators. Oh, I compare gators to Bermuda Triangle talk, Sherry. When people say, you're from Bermuda? Oh, is that where the triangle? And it's like when people start, Florida, so you see gators all the hair drops. But back to the
See?
point at hand. Is
And yeah, I don't associate with that.
can we make our homes, how can we make our homes and neighborhoods safer? Honestly, my suggestion would be let's take it a step up, do what's done here and in South Florida, a lot of people in the Nextdoor app. Create an app
Yeah.
for your neighborhood. Go ahead, Sherry. Sorry.
And I was going to say, and then, get with your neighbors and have someone patrol the area. If, they're coming home from work at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just take a swing through the neighborhood, make sure everybody's, cool and all of
Mhm.
those kind of things. Dogs, yes, that's a good thing. Make sure that they're trained and they're legally supposed to be in Bermuda. I'm just saying.
Well, what's she
And
saying? Don't have those illegal breeds because she'll tell on you, folks.
especially if they're trying to attack me for no reason. And then, just, get to know your neighbors
Yeah.
within reason. Like nobody's telling you to go to the house and sit and have a cup of tea or whatever. Hello, how you doing? And all of those kind of things, just minimal talk.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. You don't have to let them know everything about you, but just enough, as she said. David Michael R. Wilson says, my neighborhood is fairly safe in that it is family oriented and everyone knows everything that happens, so it will be hard for a stranger to gain access. They have their ways, sir. Sheikh Arena says, in
Mhm.
Bermuda, sometimes it's somebody you know climbing through your open window. Interesting. Richard Augustus and Bobby Singh sharing.
Is this a symptom of another systematic problem, i.e., educational system has failed our men, the ones committing these crimes?
I'm going to answer that before you read Bubba's. I'm going to say, yes, this is a symptom of something bigger. Yes, there's a root cause to this. However, we can't wait while we deal with that root cause or address it to make ourselves safer. That's the whole point of this conversation. We know that this is a symptom of something, but we can't say, well, let's deal with that. Like we can't, what my old boss used to say, we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Hmm.
That's
And
it.
I want to add to that, Jamal. Like we at this point can't leave out women and young ladies
Mhm.
assisting in some of these crimes. To be honest.
Yeah. Bobby said,
My neighbors are amazing. We watch out for each other, but never watch each other. Couldn't ask for a better bunch of people around HM 14.
all right, so she's
Okay.
in my neighborhood. That's my neighborhood, HM 14. What you know about us? Come on now, Bobby. Come on now. Sam Cat plays Sherry, stop watching those movies.
I know, Sam. What's the one? You? Hi,
Joanne Trot says we use Nextdoor in Atlanta. Yeah, Nextdoor is an app. Honestly, folks.
Joe.
You gotta get Sherry. We're getting you on Nextdoor by the end of this episode. Okay. You need to make
Okay.
sure you're on. Sir, I'm dead serious. We'll get.
Well,
I
my Aunt
am making
Joanne
sure
said
she's on.
it.
Aunt
Aunt
Joanne,
Joanne said it.
thank you.
Yes, I gotta agree.
Sean Smith says, my neighbors leave their keys with my wife when they go out of town to keep an eye on their place and pets. I love that. I love that. Charles H.
Awesome.
Jeffers II says, should there be more focus on the problems, unemployment, drug abuse, and not just the symptoms? I think there's focus on that, though. And again, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, Charles. I think the idea is how can we deal with this while we're also dealing with that? Not like let's deal with this and then allow that problem to still grow. So
Yeah.
I think this is a symptom of something greater, but we can't ignore this. Like we can't let this continue happening while we deal with that.
Right.
Chicken ran a
And it
shop.
has to be worked at the same time. When we are ready to start turning in our friends, neighbors, and relatives who break in our houses, it'll get
Mhm.
safer. I don't think Bermudians are afraid to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done it. I'm
You
done.
what?
Yeah, I did it. Shami Richardson, when living in Texas, we had a neighborhood watch. It was quite helpful, which deterred thieves. My neighbor was quite nosy, which also kept us safe. Nothing like a nosy neighbor, but hey, sometimes that nosy neighbor is the one that's committing the acts. Just saying, they want to know everything about you so that they can.
Movies.
Yeah, yeah. But no, folks, wrapping it up. Honestly, again, we live in an era where people have going to technology. A lot of people do have cameras, but as we know, when people are so brazen,
Yeah.
they're still gonna do what they want with cameras. There's cameras almost everywhere nowadays, and people still commit crimes. They still make up their mind that they're gonna do what they want to do, right? And so we have to understand that as much as we want to believe that cameras are a deterrent, they're not necessarily deterrent. What we need, as I think Charles and maybe Sean or someone else mentioned, is Richard Augustus, sorry, is these are symptoms of a bigger problem. Yes, we need to address
Yeah.
those. And while we're addressing those problems, we need to find a way to keep ourselves safer. If that means befriending your neighbor just enough to make sure that you're looking out for one another, if that means someone in Bermuda with an idea coming up with an app like Nextdoor, so you can say, hey guys, there was someone at my door on my ring yesterday. This is just a heads up to be cautious. Make sure your windows are locked. If this means using Nextdoor to let people know that someone stole something out of your car, like the app is helpful. It's very helpful.
Mm.
So I would encourage,
Okay.
if I'm not a techie person, but if there's a techie person out there, you have an idea today. If it's not been done already in Bermuda, there's an idea. Create an app to make Bermuda a safer place. Let's bring Liana in. I'm sure she has ways of maintaining her safety, and she can probably give us some ideas, right? Good morning, Lee.
We need
Good morning,
5% of
guys.
that app.
I really, I love this conversation this morning. Funny enough, I actually went out and bought my first ring device last weekend. I've been going back and forth about it for like the last year, and I'm like, I don't really need one. Bermuda's safe. Yeah, no. So,
Change the
so
mind.
yeah, I actually bought my first ring device and quite simple to set up. But I live in a neighborhood which is very, you've got that neighborhood watch type
Mhm,
feel to it.
mhm.
And also I have to admit, like my landlord is like on it. I think he could have been a cop in his previous life because the minute a car or a bike comes down the lane that doesn't sound familiar, he's out on the porch.
Who's that? Who's that? What you doing up this way?
Exactly, exactly. So I mean, in the beginning, it was a little like, okay, like I can have company, stay home, like stay in home. But now I actually appreciate it more
Yeah.
and more as I stay in the area. So
It's interesting the ring because we got my mother-in-law a ring last year and she was cautious because I think there's a device similar that people put in their homes and people were hacking them and looking in people's houses. So we had to explain, no, it'll be outside, you'll have access to it and so on. So she loves it, like being away from home and someone like the Amazon or FedEx truck stopping by because somebody in the house shops so much. And she loves knowing that somebody's at her door, like when
yeah,
she's not home. So, look, folks, honestly, it's there are ways to do it. We have to find a way to keep ourselves safe. Leanna, you got some safe news for us today? Okay. All right. Over to Lee, folks. Over to Lee.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and happy hump day to all of those who are tuned in with us this morning. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Police have officially named last Sunday evening's crash victim as 64-year-old Albert Simmons. Mr. Simmons was seriously injured around 6 p.m. when his motorcycle was involved in a collision with a wall near the junction of Lighthouse Road and Middle Road in Southampton, and he was capitulated into Jews Bay. Now, he was thrown into the sea after the motorbike accident and pulled from the waters by bypassers who began CPR until an ambulance arrived. Mr. Simmons was rushed to hospital but was later pronounced dead by doctors. His death marked the 16th road fatality this year. We here at the Daily Hour extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Simmons. In other news, health officials are having to apologize this morning after it was revealed a number of persons under the age of 50 had quote unquote slipped through the cracks and managed to receive the COVID-19 vaccine booster shot, even though they were not yet eligible. Now, the ministry did not state how many people had received the booster, nor did they explain why this certain group of immunized persons and fully vaccinated persons were told they could, in fact, book appointments for the booster shot. A ministry spokesperson said that an email will be sent to those reminding them of the eligibility criteria. Now, at this time, a reminder is that only people age 50 or older are eligible, as well as healthcare workers, essential and critical service workers, pregnant women, and people with chronic conditions aged 12 to 49. Meanwhile, the public has been asked to stay clear of an East End beach on Thursday morning because of an airport emergency exercise in the area. Airport operator Skyport said that staff will be replicating an aircraft accident off Clearwater Beach in St. George's to test its crisis response plans. Now, the exercise will also test Skyport's ability to coordinate emergency operations with government and non-government agencies. The exercise will be taking place between 8 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Emergency vehicles will be on site to add realism to the exercise. And if you've been traveling out of the West End these past few months, we understand it's been a bit frustrating. While the Ministry of Public Works is looking to make life a little easier, especially during peak times, as a new schedule is to come into effect beginning today. Now, from the hours between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., there will be one-way traffic flow heading east on Harbor Road through Highwood Lane and Lovers Lane, while westbound traffic is being rerouted to Middle Road via Lovers Lane. Now, from 3 to 6 p.m., traffic heading west will be redirected to travel along Harbor Road between Chapel Road and Lovers Lane. Those heading east will be rerouted to Middle Road via Chapel Road. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 71 and a low near 66 degrees. Today, we will see some sunny periods with a passing light shower or two. Despite building high pressure, cloud cover will be on the rise as a cool northerly breeze streams over relatively warmer ocean waters. Now, temperatures will begin to rebound late in the week, with developing showers towards Friday night and early Saturday as a cold front approaches from the north. That's all for our Daily Hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. The summer may be gone, but we still need to protect our skin. We recommend that you take pictures of moles, especially on areas of your body you can't see, such as calf or on the back of your leg, and check for any skin irregularities. Keep those pictures and compare again in 6 months. Your People's Pharmacists care about the prevention as much as the cure. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
I but in no means am trying to make light of anything during your news break.
Oh, Lord.
But when you said that some people slipped in and got the booster shot, right? The level of incompetence to allow that to take place, number one. And then number two, yet another example of how divided of a world we live in. You've got people who are so anti getting any shot, and then people who are dying to get a shot. I'm just like, what?
Two extremes. We are
Crazy.
facing two extremes at this point. And the ministry actually said that, they did state that you're able to get the vaccine booster shots. And I believe when you go on the government website portal to book that appointment, I believe that, whether you stated your age or not, who knows? Who knows?
You know
Liana
what?
shut herself
I
down. She
was
was like, you
trying
know
to
what?
make light of it, and
It's like, you know what? Let me just
I'm
leave
not
that
even
right there.
trying.
Anyway, Lee, go get your golf game up because I'm coming for you. Come
Ooh,
for you.
fighting words on a
Wow.
Wednesday. Choose
Yeah.
violence,
And it's
Mel.
and it's recorded. I
You
love
see
it.
this, right? We
I
can play
love
it
it.
back. Replay.
I'm worrying about you
When
too.
he loses, though, Sherry, when he loses.
I'm worrying about you too. Anyway,
Yes, Liana, come through.
so
Yes.
this when we say see you tomorrow, Lee.
Really?
Have a good one. See you tomorrow, Lee. All righty, Liana Lambert there, folks. Yeah, they can talk all they want. They challenged the guys. They challenged us. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. We've got Rachel and Jalen. We're talking about more than cronuts, folks. Don't get excited. It's more than cronuts. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Here's a health food company who meet the vegan food challenge head on. Field Roast, proud purveyors of vegan good eats designed to replace the meatiness and cheesiness traditionally bestowed by animal products. From a meat eater's point of view, this is mission impossible. Field Roast has cracked the code, allowing plant proteins to deliver flavors that supersede those of animal origin. Try Field Roast chew slices, tomato cayenne, coconut herb, and original cream. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Sherry, you know what I wanted to say earlier? And we've got so Sherry and I, we're up very early mornings. Obviously, both of us on the East Coast, but we both watch Good Day Bermuda. And honestly, folks, if you've never watched an episode of Good Day Bermuda, it's a really, obviously I can bring your day down, right? So, you really want to start your day on a high. Just watch they are like just.
Hilarious.
You have to watch. Honestly, Jackie and Terry are probably one of the best ways to start your day in Bermuda in a long time. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Go look for them on social media. I don't look. Sherry and I always in the comments. I'll leave it at that. We've got some guests to bring in. Rachael Petty and Jalen Harvey of Huckleberry and Burrows Holiday. Welcome to the show, my friends. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
We're good. We're good. Hopefully you're happy to be here because we're happy to have you.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't know. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. If you haven't, you need to make sure you watch A Good Day Bermuda.
I was just going to ask what if to you repeat that because I wanted to know.
Yeah,
that sounds really fun.
I'll have to send you the link. They're just hilarious. They're young energy. They're good energy, and they're tough. Like one thing I will say, if you go work out in the morning, don't do it while you're watching them because
you're not gonna have a good workout.
It's tough. Like you'll laugh mid lift or something.
And then safety measures out the window.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well. But look, thank you both. Thank you both for coming on. And before we even get into the conversation, right? I have to address something.
Sure.
So 2 days ago, we had Kalina Otterbridge from the BEDC on, right?
Yes.
And apparently, I'm like the last person to know what a cronut is. And apparently, you're known for them. So just tell me, before we get into the convo, talk about the cronut, everything else. How did Huckleberry become known for something I've never heard about?
That's a great question. I think the team, when COVID first really started and everything locked down, we had to pivot really hard as a restaurant. And so we kind of sat down as a team and we thought, what could we offer Bermuda that's a little different, that that still feeds into the things we're good at. And so we started an online shop. And one of the things on the online shop is our online bakery. And one of our chefs came up with the idea of a cronut, which came from a baker in New York. I think his name's Dominique Ansel. And so that was really huge in New York for a while. And so we found out how to make it, made it. And at the time, we didn't have all the materials. So we had everyone that worked on different departments, marketing, our restaurant manager, our hotel manager, because our hotel shut down. We were all rolling cronut dough for the first 6 months. So that was an interesting project. And then finally, they became so popular that we had to buy all the equipment. So now we have a proper cronut operation going on downstairs. But yeah, so that's where we're at.
It's a run to the races, Jamal. I'm telling you, and I lost quite a few times.
Jamal, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not too far ahead of you.
Okay, see?
When I was first working with Rachel, she was telling me about them, and I was like, oh, I haven't tried them yet. And so they were explaining them to me, and then I got home to my mama, and I was like, oh, I hear about like these cronuts they got. My mama said, no, you tried them last Christmas. I was like, oh, those things? Those are wow. Yeah.
Fantastic.
No, I can't miss them.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put this on my family, right? I'm gonna put it on them make it. Yeah, I'm blaming them. I'm throwing them on the bus because he had them last Christmas, right?
Yeah,
he had them last Christmas.
Guys don't know what we're talking about. We need women's help.
Fair.
Yeah,
to keep
exactly. And my wife in the comments acting like she knows what a cronut is and so on. But no, we're not going to talk about cronut. But thank you.
So
let's
letting me explain the process. And the other thing I will say for listeners is I know that it's tough because they do sell out quickly.
Yes,
it's the product of our website. So if you check every morning, we try to update the website with more cronuts. So if it shows us sold out, that's not usually the case every day. So it's just the fact that, if they sell out for the following day, then we have to block them out, even for future orders. So then we put more on the following day, and then we kind of just keep going like that. So no fear, they are online. They will be. So just check every morning, and you will find.
And I'm not on island. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to ship you some.
I was just gonna
Rachel?
say, we got to do something.
We got to
do
that. You just got to tell me your favorite shipping company.
I'm on it. Okay, go ahead, Jamal. I'm on it now. I'm fine.
So look, I think this Huckleberry, the markets are gonna just take a step up just because of the cronuts. But speak to us about the Huckleberry Holiday Market. It's in its second year. How did it get started? Where did it come from? The idea?
So a colleague of mine and me, last year, we sat down and we wanted to think of ways that we could engage Bermuda in a safe way, given COVID, that still supported local businesses. I think, a big initiative for me, just feeling like this is a great space to host other local businesses and give them a platform to grow as well, because we're a small local business. And I just think in this specific time, community is so important. And so I wanted to make sure that local businesses were being given the opportunity to succeed in this time of life, where things are a little bit dark, to be honest. So, that was really the inspiration. And so we worked really hard last year to bring the Christmas markets to life, and they went really well. And almost every vendor that booked last year called me this year and asked to rebook for all of the nights. So that was a really good sign that they did well last year. So we're going to have 22 vendors this year each night. It's every Wednesday starting November 24th until December 15th. And we're partnering with Burrows for our bar. And so we're going to have a couple of different experiences, and we're going to do a full dinner in the restaurant. So there's a couple different tiers this year. Last year, we just stuck to the markets themselves, whereas this year we felt it was such a success. How can we grow this offering and make it more exciting for Bermuda? Everyone's starved for something to do. So it's kind of going to become like a one-stop shop to experience the best of Bermuda, in my opinion.
It sounds awesome. And, like I've dined at Huckleberry before, by far the best customer service. So definitely should check it out. And if you're interested in being a vendor, you talked about there's 22 of them, and I did look at it and see there were several. How could someone sign up if they are interested?
So we do have a couple slots available to be a vendor on November 24th, but the other slots are now all taken. Word of mouth did a very good job for some of these vendors. So we are fully booked now for the rest of the nights. But I do keep a list, and we will be doing this yearly. So if you are interested, I'd say come this year, see how it runs, see if it's a platform you want to be a part of and it's the right audience for you. And then get in touch and we'll make sure you're included next year.
Well, word of mouth in Bermuda.
Yes. I mean, it does my job for me to a certain extent. With the Cronuts, I very little that I have to do. I'm kind of I'm like telling you too much now, but Bermuda does do that, and it's nice,
Nice. Well, back to Cronut. So we see you have a special Cronut this year for the holidays. Tell us more about that, and how can people actually secure this holiday Cronut?
Right. So when we were planning the bar with Burrows, Jalen and I were trying to come up with some other fun ways that we could collaborate, and the Cronuts came up. And so Jalen had a recipe for a Bacardi spiced eggnog, which I tried. It's fantastic. And so we decided to use that as the flavoring for the cream that goes inside of the Cronut. So we worked with our pastry chef and got that all, the recipe sorted with her. And so now we've been offering 100 orders only. So this Cronut is one of those where if it sells out, it's gone. And it is available for pickup on December 2nd. And what else?
So it's a full package. So you get the box of Cronuts, you get a bottle of Bacardi spiced, you get your recipe for the Bacardi spiced eggnog, and then you actually get a few Bacardi branded glasses. Yeah. So you can drink your eggnog with your eggnog Cronut. And just make it a full experience, have a lot of fun with it. We're having a lot of fun with it, and we're seeing a great response from both the Bacardi headquarters and the public as well. So very excited for people to try them on December 2nd.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, so we recently, I don't know if anyone saw, but our Instagram, we recently posted a video, and you might recognize a face in the video announcing our Bacardi spiced eggnog Cronuts.
We were both in the
that's
video.
True. We were both in it. But he's dressed up. So it's a great video. You should check it out if you're interested to know more about this, the Cronut.
Yeah, we just did something fun.
Yeah.
We had me put on a Santa Claus costume, and kind of the idea behind it that Rachel actually came up with is that Santa's tired of cookies and milk this year, so it was Cronuts and Bacardi spiced eggnog. So just her creativity that she brings, we love working with her, and we're looking forward to this and the holiday market as well.
This partnership is delicious, isn't it? Doesn't it sound like one delicious partnership, Sherry?
Delicious. And
the perk of me putting on that Santa costume is I got to be the first person to try that combination.
Yes, that was the organization. Yeah.
Well, I love to hear that the pastry chef is a female, as we do. But where can people learn more about the holiday market? Like where you talked about Instagram, is there anywhere else that people can get more information about it?
Sure. So there's a couple places. Instagram is a great one. And yes, huckleberrybda.com is our website. If you go to HB events, you'll see holiday markets right there. You click on that and it has all the options. Same place for the bakery. If you go there, and then you'll see HB at home. If you click that, it'll say HB bakery, and that's where you can find the Cronuts. We have 2 flavors. Right now we have the Bacardi spiced eggnog package and the apple crumble flavor. We're doing a bit of a pie series. So that's our flavor of the month right now, and that'll change for December. So that's where you can find all that information. The other thing I will say for the Cronut lovers is we also have a Cronut Club. It's our email subscriber club specific to cronuts. So I would release an email to Cronut Club first for every new cronut, and so they get first dibs on all of our cronuts.
2 days ago I spilled the beans on the spiced eggnog cronut, and she texted me or sent me a voice note actually, like, take it down right now. So
Cronut Club must know first.
I can vouch on this side that the Cronut Club knows everything first.
Yeah.
And if anybody messes that up, I wouldn't want to be on Rachel's bad side.
Yeah. And I just saw the comment that apple is sold out. It is 8:45, so I know that our pastry chef is going to put more online this morning, but that would be at 10 a.m. So check back. And if it's not, you can always Facebook message us. I answer those, and I'll see what I can do for you.
You know what I
Rachel?
what I really love about this, honestly, is, before they came on, just saying to Leanna how divided the world we live in. I love stuff like this because it's a craze that takes our attention away.
Yeah.
About something we just like and love and we want and desire. Like this, I love this kind of excitement about something I didn't even know existed, right?
I didn't know about the club. I'm excited about that. But when you said apple, I was over here saying, oh, choices.
We heard. We heard.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, because obviously my time in tourism, I spent a lot of time at Rosedon. How long has Huckleberry been around?
3 years. So it's pretty new. And so our best year yet was supposed to be 2020. So that was a bit of a tough blow, but we've had a really fun time. We have an amazing team here of people who all want to innovate and are willing to pivot. And are super open to change. And so, we had to make some big changes in the last couple of years, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. So, yeah.
I want to say, Jalen, what was that, Sherry?
I was going to say the service, is absolutely just,
very good.
oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the food is awesome.
Yeah.
We love good service. I'm gonna definitely have to try it because it definitely wasn't around during my time in tourism. But I want to give props to Jalen because I just want to go back. He said that he came up with this eggnog spice, Bacardi, whatnot, and it became a cronut. Folks, I love to eat, but I don't have any, you speak about being innovative. I can create a little something to work online, but when it comes to food, don't ask me anything. So props to you for even thinking of that, like thinking of something that people
it was something that we definitely did together over the phone.
I suppose. I mean, you came to me about the cronut thing, and I was like, "You're right, that'll do well."
But yeah, it took a second, and it obviously needed to be run by the pastry chef. She's like the mastermind behind it all. So Rachel ran it by her, and once she wrapped her head around it, I think she tried it before giving a yes.
Yeah.
And so she tried it, and I think I got lucky with this one, but I will take your props every day of the week. Every day of the week.
You know what, Jalen? About being lucky, sometimes it takes a little bit of luck. I had a former boss, right? I would always take these ideas to him, and he never really shut my ideas down. He said, "If you think it'll work, go for it. But if it doesn't, you're gonna have to clean up that mess."
Mm-hmm.
So hey, even if it was luck, you guys are showing that good teamwork. You hit her up, she hits the chef up.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I do have a question that I was gonna ask, and someone has finally asked it from the audience.
Okay.
I knew it was coming, but I'm glad I didn't ask. Nicole Walker, just so there are vegan bakery options as well. I was gonna ask, is there a vegan option for the cronuts?
So no, not for the cronuts, because the way that the dough has to be made is it's a layer of dough and a layer of butter and a layer of dough, because that's how you make a croissant. So we haven't yet figured out how to do that well enough to do a vegan one with vegan butter. So, it's in the works. I would just say, we've looked at it, and I can't promise anything because my pastry chef will get so mad at me. So I won't say more than that. Yes, she is a total genius. That's Alyssa.
All right. Jalen, Rachel, before you go, anything you want to tell our audience?
come to the holiday market.
Yes.
For sure, there's going to be a very great experience there. On our side, we'll be doing some flights. You can try some great cocktails for the general package. But there is an elevated experience there as well, where you can try some rums that you can gift to people for the holidays that you might not know of yet. So it's a great opportunity to have an educational experience, but also have a great time at the same time.
Yeah.
And do it in the Christmas spirit. So I think this is such a great event that really ties in everything.
Yeah. And it's all about collaboration and creative Bermudians working together. I think that's super important.
Yes.
So, so we've had a really good time putting this together. And I think, what? Sorry.
She said she's going to call you.
Oh, yes. All right. I'm waiting. I'm over here waiting.
Yeah, she's going to steal my order.
Also, side note for you, Jamal. I actually just moved home from Miami. I was there for 4 years. So I can vouch for your gator promise, your gator thing. It's the exact same. When you say you live in Florida, you get the gator thing, and when you're in Miami, they always ask about the triangle.
Yeah,
all the time, all the time. It's like, let's trade bobs. But honestly, it's been a pleasure having you both. Please know the next time you need a platform, engage with our audience. The door is wide open. Thank you
so much.
All right, have a great one.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Don't steal my order, Sherry.
Whatever. It's on and popping.
Thank you.
I'm sure I can type faster than you.
Thank you to both of them. Honestly, it was a pleasure to have them. If you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Hit them up. I love overall Cronuts aside, the fact that a small business has created an opportunity for other small businesses. 22, I believe they said. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is we're in the era of collaboration, and this is how it's supposed to work.
I didn't see all of them, but I saw some of the vendors, and they have a very nice selection.
Indeed. Well, let's go to the movement moment, folks. Do not go anywhere. We have a very fun daily play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. This is a really good movement moment, as all of them are. So take it all in and stick with us.
Welcome to this movement moment brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Together, we can illuminate your path to wellness.
Welcome to today's movement moment with Tamara Janelle, brought to you by People's. Tamara, what are we discussing today?
Good morning, Jamal, and as usual, good morning to your listening audience. So humility has been our topic for the month, the power of gratitude. But we're focusing more on humility because I think gratitude is more of an everyday word. People generally understand that. So with humility being what I describe as a building block for personal growth, I thought it was important that we take a moment and just talk about how people can cultivate humility in this sort of dog-eat-dog world where if you want to be recognized and if you want to be successful, it's sort of an individualist society now where you need to sing your praises and be almost the antithesis of humble and exhibiting humility. So humility, like I said, is important. You must be open to the fact that you're not always right, that you always have something to learn. You need that Yoda mentality where the Jedi always has something to learn, no matter how much of a master he is. So try these simple steps to amp up your care, compassion, and concern for others, and in turn, generate more gratitude in your own daily life. So the first step is to practice mindfulness. Now, you've had several excellent guests on in the past to talk about mindfulness. There are reams and reams of information on the internet for techniques about mindfulness and about basically living in the present moment. One of the techniques I use the most is the breath. I would encourage everyone to do some research on mindfulness, figure out what techniques work the best for you, because what works for me doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. And we want to sustain practice to build humility and gratitude.
Thank you for tuning into this movement moment. To enjoy the benefits of the full episode, check us at Instagram at MVMT with Tamara Donnell or at People's BDA.
Folks, if you don't already, make sure you follow People's BDA and at MVMT with Tamara Donnell to see the full episodes, like the entire segments that's just releasing. This month, humility. It's a lot in there. A lot we can learn about ourselves. So check it out. Gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with today's daily play. It's music. I think it's one of the easiest ones for the audience. I didn't say Sherry.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to our friends at Huckleberry, Rachael Petty and Burrows Light One, Jalen Harvey, for stopping by and having a conversation. Make sure you go check out the holiday markets, folks. Support local vendors. Hey, they benefit, they do well, the community does well. I think it helps with Texas in some manner, right? Some way. Thanks again to Tamara as well for continuing the conversation about humility. But now it's time for the daily play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
Okay, Jamal.
Yes. All right, folks, here we go. Here's the question. Help her out. Help her out. Help her out. I mean, she might not need your help with this one. What is the name of the Celine Dion song which featured as the soundtrack to the Titanic?
Gosh, and it goes on, something goes on. Time goes on, we go on. I'm close. Am I close?
Yes, We'll Go On is the final.
We'll go on. Okay.
But it is actually
My heart
will go on.
I was close. I knew it was something go on.
Yes.
Couldn't remember what part of the body, but I think I got that one day.
Yes. We're gonna give a 50% of the answer, folks. We'll go on.
75.
75. She wants to go 75. Okay. All right. So she got We'll Go On. So I told you all it was easy for you all.
It was easy. It was easy.
James said half points. He says half points. Half points for you.
I'm gonna meet this James. James has had a lot to say today.
Ooh. James, watch
More
out.
than half.
She's coming for you. She's coming for half. Give her 51%. What's your thoughts on today's show, conversation and discussion?
Well, as we stated before, I think, get to know your neighbors. We want to make things safer. Get to know your neighbors. Protect yourself at all costs. If you're in Bermuda, definitely check out One Communications for the security systems. And so forth. But it's very important. Feeling violated is not a good feeling. And as far as Huckleberry and the market, everyone go out and support this market. They have 22 vendors of small businesses that will benefit from this. Getting the speedy Cronut, set your alarms and all of that kind of stuff. I am reaching out to Rachael. Probably already did, Jamal. I don't know how fast you are with things, but nevertheless, I am getting me a Cronut. And again, Huckleberry is a great experience within itself. So definitely go out and go to Huckleberry for the other services as well.
I love it. Definitely agree with you. I think, Sherry, if you reach out to Rachael, please do that after you download the Nextdoor app, or else I'm telling on Joanne. So
Okay.
Sherry has priorities this morning, folks. She's getting the Nextdoor app this morning. I honestly, and I say this, folks, I do worry about not just elderly, but family members, even those who are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Your home should be a safe space. We shouldn't have to worry about people violating that. The fact that we are living in a time where we have to secure ourselves even more says that there are some deep-rooted issues that need to be addressed. And while we all do our part to address those, I think we also need to find ways to keep ourselves safe in the process. Thankful to Rachel and Jalen for coming by to speak about what they're doing. And as I stated not long ago, while I want to taste their great cronuts, a small business finding another way to help other small businesses is one of the best community acts you can find. It's a great community act. So please get out, support them, support what they're doing. And Sherry, I know you have daily play for us.
Daily inspiration?
That's what I meant.
Yep. Okay. Live life to the fullest and focus on the positive. And that comes from Matt Cameron, who's a musician.
So simple. And looks like some of your friends say, I would give you 76%, Karen Simmons says.
Thank you, Karen.
Your teammate in the BCG games, Terry K, says Sherry gets 60. There were 5 words in the song title, 20% per word. I love the way she thinks. I love the way she thinks. So 60% for you. All right, folks. You know what time it is. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great day. I don't have my mug.
I'll say, where's your cup?